Hey. Hi, it's Bridgette. Nice to see you. We are going to do a live stream channeling this afternoon. Nice to see you. I had appointments this morning, so I wasn't able to do my live stream this morning once again, yet again. Seems like Mondays are becoming that way. Welcome to Above Life Channel. The purpose here is to inspire your spirit and to fill you with hope. Today, we're going to channel someone based upon a request from a client that I have. I have great clients, you guys. I have people that I absolutely adore that I get to work with weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and I just love you guys. And so thank you for supporting me in my work that I do and letting me support you and encourage you. I love that in private session. It's awesome. And so she actually requested that I do a channeling with Dolores Cannon. And I've had people recommend her before. I know that there's some mixed views about her and her work, I think, as there is everyone that's psychic, everyone that has any kind of philosophy about anything. It's like, ooh, some people love you, some people hate you. It's just the way it is. I myself experienced that too. So, hi in the chat. We're doing a live stream in this channeling on Above Life channel. Can you let me know if you hear me okay? That'd be great. Give me a thumbs up if you hear me. Hi, I see Rebel in the chat. I see Lisa from Florida in the chat. Yes, thank you. Hi, Chris is here. Suzanne is here. Nice to see you. All right. Oh, did I not grab my glasses? Oh, I didn't. Oh, well. It'll be tricky trying to read the chat, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to channel Dolores Cannon. Here's what I know about her. I have a great client that I think is amazing. And she said, you need to talk to her. I think you would find it fascinating. And she said, she's a hypnotherapist and she does a lot of stuff with past life stuff and uses hypnotherapy, like a deeper meditation kind of thing, to be able to help people clear and heal things. Like she said, it started off with like helping people stop smoking or something like that, like way back in the day, like before anybody did anything like that, before anybody did a lot of psychic stuff. And I'm thinking like her energy, the Dolores Cannon, kind of feels a little bit like the Sylvia Brown stuff for some people. And so I really don't know anything about her except for that. So I don't follow her work. I haven't looked at anything on YouTube about her. I just don't know. Okay. So this literally is like a channeling where I'm just like you. If you don't know her, I'm going to be learning about stuff. So you might actually know more about her than I do, which isn't a surprise. And it doesn't take much to do that. But on Above Life channel. And if you're new here, you should know it's not like an interview. It's not like, I'm not necessarily going to tell you anything you don't already know about her, as far as data or facts, because anybody can Google that. You just look that up. Okay, that's like boring stuff. Like I'm not interested in doing an interview about your job or writing your resume in the afterlife. That's not my vibe on Above Life channel. We have conversations about real life human stuff, getting advice from people from the past life or from the afterlife. And since she does past life stuff, I guess this would be a cool thing to learn about, right? For you guys, right? For all of us, there's probably new stuff. There's got to be advancements going on, right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to say hello to the chat. Some of you all in the chat. Don't comment in the chat if you don't want me to call you out. Hi, Sal. Hi, Deb. Hi, Dreamy Jeannie. Okay. Hello, the Piratess. All right. I think I got everybody here. Hi, Dawn. Nice to see you. All right. Let's make sure I say hi to everybody. Yay. Okay. All right. Nice to see you guys. Okay. Actually, you know what? Okay, so let me just share with you just a reminder, because we do have a live chat going on here. You have the power to utilize the block and ban, block and ban, block and ban if you need to. If somebody gets a little squirrely in the chat or it doesn't feel right, the vibes feel icky, wicky, icky, yucky, or they're super rude or very not appropriate or offensive, any kind of hate stuff of other people. I don't care if they're coming at me, that's fine. But other people, then just, take them to the place of the block in the ban. Okay. All right. You can do that by just clicking on the little hamburger, the 3 little dots at the end of their comment, and it hides them. Oh, I think I accidentally might have just hid Deb's. Sorry, Deb. I think I might have hid your comments. Unhide. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Actually, interesting story. I was waiting in the waiting room and I was reading through emails, and I know you guys, this is a chatting channel. You know how it works for me. I chat with you, we talk, we catch up a little, then I talk to the dead people. Okay, give me a break. That's how it works. Oh, I'm kind of sassy today, a little sassy. So it happens when you're tired and don't sleep much. But anyway, Deb, I was reading your email from like a month or 2 ago. If I don't respond to your emails, you guys don't be offended. I don't have time. I barely have time to take a shower. Okay, most days than to read your emails. I'd love to, though. I was thinking about that. I should do that. I should do some responses or live reading of emails or something like that, or maybe comments, live reading of comments or something like that. I might do that in the future, but I got it. And thank you. It was really sweet. You were sharing a bunch of stuff with me. I appreciate that. So thank you for your nice words. All right. And it's possible to have private session with me if you'd like to do that. I don't do channeling of celebrities in private sessions, but I do psychic and intuitive and coaching work with you in private session. You can see the links below after this video is posted. Okay. So let's talk to Dolores. Let's see. Let her come on in. Remember, I don't know anything about her, people, so be kind to me. I don't mean to be rude. If I say anything to her, she's not going to be, I hope, I think. Oh, yeah, no, she's blunt. Oh, boy. She's direct. And she has her hands in her lap on her belly. And she says, hello, Bridgette, kind of. She kind of reminds me, she talks to me like my grandma Nina talked to me. She used to go, Bridgette, kind of thing. A little bit of an accent almost. I don't know. It's a weird way that she said my name, but it kind of is sweet. She kind of reminds me of my grandma Nina. Okay, so Dolores has some spitfire in her. She says, well, you got to. You've got to. When there are people have a lot to say about your work. People have a lot to say. They have a lot of opinions, she says, and they're theirs. They're not yours. Oh my gosh, am I channeling you to help me with business stuff in a way? If you're ready for that, yes. She said, a lot of us have been talking about you. She says, oh my God, in my work. I've been, you guys, on the fence. I've really been on the fence about what to do. I have to find a way to, live on my own and stuff. And I need to make some money. We just did taxes and I lost money last year in my business. Yeah, not a fun thing. How am I going to pay rent, So, Dolores, you might have some insights. She says, maybe some inspiration. So my husband died in a car accident and it looks like quadriplegic. I think I know that about you, actually. I think my client might have said that because that sounds familiar. She says, that's how it started for me. I had to do something. I had to do something. I had to make money. And it looks like she had a lot of kids. I see like a big, when I see like a big van, like a 9-passenger van, not a minivan, like back in the day, like a Ford van with like a cargo van kind of thing with seats in it, like lots of kids. Is that true, you guys? Make sure you're chiming in the chat. Make sure you're checking the facts that I'm channeling in here. So lots of kids. Husband had an issue, was like, couldn't work. So then she had to work, that kind of vibe. Okay. And then it feels like, oh, that's cool. I love that. Yes, show me that. She literally just showed me. I wonder if I have one in here. I do, but I can't grab it out. Yeah, I'm going to grab it. She showed me the The flower of life, the sacred geometry, and let me grab it. Lots of concentric circles. I have a little mat that I use for grid work, which is, by the way, with crystals and rocks and things like that, and kind of to amplify energy if you're trying to manifest anything or to create energy space or hold energy space in your room. Sacred geometry. I'm going to grab it quick. It's right here. Just okay. Here comes. Here comes. Here comes. Okay. This is what she showed me. See all the circles, like there's circles within circles and overlapping circles, right? This is like the core base foundation of life, right? This pattern you can see in everything in nature and all that jazz. And she's showing me that. And she says, yes, the pattern of things. She says, everything makes sense when you think about the rhythm of it. She says, everything returns. Everything returns. She says, like the spring, the grass will come back now. The trees will bud. Life will return. She says, it's never really gone away, you see. It is sort of like a sleep or a slumber. Hibernation. Okay, so I see the Midwest or the lower Midwest. Illinois, Indiana, someplace like that. Maybe Ohio. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where she's from, but I'm seeing that. She's showing me that part of the country. I literally just heard something that does not make sense to me. I'm like, I don't know if this is actually her saying this. Why would this come through? I have a sister in Des Moines or something that sounds like Des Moines, like it's two words. It's a D and then a DES and then something else. I have a sister in something, unless her sister's Desiree, no, DES, something. She said, because of the family, she said, we are not that different. She says to me, like, this is what you need to do now, is step up into your call, your being. Oh my God, this isn't supposed to be a personal channeling for me. But I show up on Above Life channel and I lead by example. So you damn well better bet I'm going to sit here and listen to this and share it and you guys can hear. I don't have a problem with that. It's a little vulnerable, let me just say. Psychic energy work kind of is. It causes you to really believe and have faith in a greater, positive, hopeful, light, loved energy of just beauty and abundance, right? It's time now, she says. You step forward, you step up. She's showing me a big step up. Like when little kids are walking, toddlers, and we have big legs as adults, right? We can take a step up and it's no big deal. They have to take a big step up, like their whole leg is lifted up and then they have to kind of slide their weight forward in order to get the other side up. And somebody's usually holding their hand or they're holding on to something or they're leaning forward to pull themselves up. And she says, you don't have to pull yourself up. You're already tall enough. She says, you're already tall enough. Just step up. Okay. We've been talking about this, she says. There's like this meeting. It looks like almost like a conference room with a meeting of staff meeting kind of thing. And there's like Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay. Oh my God. Okay. Like Joan of Arc. That's one of my guides. It's crazy. That's weird. There's a lot coming in all of a sudden, big time. I'm going to get downloads. Stuff's going to come forward for me personally later too. I can feel it. Maybe for you. Oh, yes. She said, yes, download if you choose to. She says, plug in everyone. I invite you to, if you'd like to. She said, you can use the sacred geometry shape such as this and download this. Download this and plug into the network and let the information come for you. And she says it will come into a space that is in between your heart and your throat chakra, but it comes in the back. She says it's a little box, like an SD card, almost on the little camera or on the side of your USB port or something like that. Just boop, popped it in. And so you can access that if you choose to. You can say yes, So I'll pause for a moment if you choose to say yes. I see purple and pink energy with her, which is a lot of divine feminine energy. Pink is means tells me that she's genuine and compassionate. And purple energy shows me that she's not going to take any shit also. I, I respect that. She says, the older you get, the less you care about other people's opinions. Because what matters is where you're at in that moment, plugged into that person, you're getting them connected, and that's what you're doing. She says, you're helping them connect. She says, see, we're not that different. We are not that different. And she says, you are being called up. You're being called up, she says. And what's motivating you is your kids, your family. Oh, I don't want to get emotional. Your family, your kids. Yeah. All right. To provide for our children, right? Yeah. It's not just about paying the bills, people. It's about contributing to the world, doing something you're passionate about at the same time, the way you do whatever you're doing, whether you're working at a cafe like I've been doing. Hello, you've noticed, right? Part-time, trying to get some funds coming. To just have a backup plan. Yeah, like that. She's like, mm-hmm. So take a moment, yellow and pink, or I'm sorry, purple and pink energy. Crown chakra, divine feminine, heart chakra, also compassionate, divine feminine energy. That nurturing, loving, motherly support. She's saying, come on, moms, unite, kind of that energy. You don't have to be a mother in body. You can feel that capacity of the archetypal energy of the mother, which is Earth Gaia energy, which will ground you, center you. You can source that wisdom. She says you just plug in, plug that SB. Literally, I want to unplug this, but I can't because you won't hear me if I unplug it. But just plug it in, plug yourself in, and then you can download that. And she says you can use, like I would say, nonlinear time to process that while you're sleeping. Dream state, journal state, meditation state, whatever's going to work for you. She says, it's interesting. She says, we call it now. She says, now so many people refer to this process as higher consciousness. She says, there's nothing higher about it. The higher is referring to the vibration. Yes. Or to the version of the version of the reform that you need. Oh, she uses the word reform. Fascinating. I love words, right? Reform. The version of the reform that you need. So it's kind of like where you're at, what you're ready for when you're doing upgrades, like that. Like your system has to be ready to be able to take on all the apps that you're downloading on your damn phone, right? Right? Anybody else having issues with that lately? Me too. Or downloading your music or your audio files, and all of a sudden your phone is like, oh my God, it's full. Like that. The cloud is full. Okay, the cloud is full. All right. So in order to reform, you have to have room for that, which means it causes you to let go of the old. And she says you don't have to keep the old files. They're being updated. Don't worry about losing the memory or losing the consciousness of the lessons that you've learned. So many people are afraid that if they forget, that the memory is this really sacred place, and if they forget, then they won't have any of that experience, that lesson, that learning, that medicine. And she says, oh, no, the mind is a powerful vehicle for transportation, to actually move you and slide you, she says, on along the timelines. It looks like sliding along the timelines. The mind is a vehicle to slide you along the timelines. And part of what the resistance is that you can't possibly believe that your mind can partner with the soul and the spirit of energy. The spirit, she says, the spirit of energy. You're gonna have to clarify what that means, because I'm not totally sure what you mean. The spirit of energy to slide you along the timelines. And she keeps bringing me back to sacred geometry. This is just one version of sacred geometry. There's the Sriyantra, the Metatron's cube. I mean, there's so many things. The dodecahedron. I mean, there's so many things. The Vesica Pisces. That's my special one. I love that one. It's two circles overlapping. The Vesica Pisces. There you go. Kind of like that. Okay. Talk to me about the spirit piece that you just mentioned. So you didn't say soul. You said the spirit of the spirit of something. I can't remember what you just said. My brain doesn't keep stuff, especially in channeling. She says there's a universal consciousness that you are one and of. So you're one of, there's a wholeness about it. And you are not singular, yet the brain sees you as singular. She says, so you have access to the allness of everything, yet the brain restricts that access knowingly. She says, knowingly, the ego restricts that access knowingly because the primary job of the mind and the brain in the body, the brain, the physical organ of the brain, is to keep you in the human form. And this is why it's kind of interesting because you can actually be brain dead, but your body can keep going because it's like a machine, right? And she says, however, just like the body has a consciousness in and of itself and a very intuitive body, like you've mentioned in your previous videos, she says about the somatics, the feeling of the body and the intuitiveness. Yes, that is very heightened. And as well now, then you all of you who are listening or watching now, you do have access through your mind, your brain, to be able to work with the spiritual accessibility of things. It's beyond the typical ego rhetoric of the basic psychology that we knew before, because you have all ascended, and many of you have ascended multiple what you would refer to as dimensions or levels. However, the truth is you can still travel between them. It's not like you choose one state like fifth dimension or third dimension and you live there. You don't. She says you just go up and down. You go up and down. So not only do you slide like this across the dimensions or the time of things. She's not saying timeline. She's saying the time, like sliding through time or something. And she says, but it goes up and down too. But she says the interesting thing is the up and down is more of like a wave. It's like that serpent energy, that figure eight, that lemniscate, but it's like up and down like this. And people don't realize how fluid it is. And now, because collectively you have grown, she says, I know it's hard to see that you have, but you have. She says, we all know, we look at you through your eyes and are kind of frustrated by the fact that a bit you cannot see. We're shocked. Because you aren't really just seeing with your human eyes, you're seeing through the eyes of the soul from your human eyes. And are you seeing the beauty? Are you seeing the opportunities or the possibilities? Or are you seeing the death of the destruction of the pain of the suffering? Because the pain and the suffering is in the heart, for the heart to churn over. So you're assigning processing to different parts of you. And that's not accurate any longer. It doesn't work. There are reforms that have come into place now. And she says, I can talk about the galactics and the advanced beings. And she says, it is in part because you have been commingled with this higher consciousness from these other like planets, you guys. I'm literally, oh my God, we're going to talk about ETs. Are we really? It's not like that. It's different. She says, it's not like that. It's different types of beings, a human being, cosmic being, but she's not using cosmic, she's using light being, human being, light being. You all have a light body, but she says it's different. It's what you are primarily made up of, which is stars. We know that, right? However, that sounds out there, and nobody needs to really understand that to the depths, but there needs to be an acknowledgement, she says, about this light incarnation of the light being, energy of light being that you all have. It's all in your DNA, which you would consider your DNA. We consider it advanced chlorine. I'm trying to see it with my third eye. I can't quite hear it. Advanced chlorina. I don't know what that word is. Chlorina something. It looks like chlorine, but it's not. It's chlorina something. Advanced chlorina something. It's like science or technology. And by the way, oh gosh, I don't mind. Please, conspiracy people, do not befriend me. But sorry. Oh, judgment. Hello, opinions coming in. I can't help it. I'm a human being with opinions. Releasing my resistance so I can say this next piece. I gotta release my resistance. She says, it is widely known by the people who study the mind that this already exists. And by this, she means the advancement of your technologies within your mind and within this, what we're going to call the light being of you as a light being light. It's like speed of sound stuff, you guys, like boom, speed of sound or sonic booms or that kind of thing. But it's spiritual stuff that is now able to connect to a portion of our brain, not just like the medulla oblongata or the pituitary gland or anything like that. It's different. There's a part of our brain that is now accessible because enough of the people have come into the compassion of the light, of the warmth, energy of wanting the kindness, the love to express and be, that it has tipped the scales. And so now we have new access to new levels of our knowledge, wisdom, which is in our brain. It's not the brain, it's the mind now. So some people might call this a higher consciousness. They might call this the higher mind or the divine mind, but there is like science about this now, and the government knows all about it. And by the way, let me just share, you guys know my background is in government, right? I worked there for 10 years, and I really believe in public service and the public sector I worked in. And I would totally go back there in a heartbeat. And my bachelor's degrees, one of my bachelor's degrees, my college degrees, is in political science. So I like that stuff. So for me to say that, it's like I'm not digging on them. There's no opinion about them telling us or not telling us. I'm not about that. It's about just like, hey, they know. Like the uppers, whatever. And it might be a scenario, a situation like the guys that went into space, like the humans that went into space, like I can't think of the virgin guy, virgin whatever guy, I can't think of his name. All I can see is okay, and then like Jeff Bezos, which we all know, whatever. Oh, did I just do that? Oh, I'm sorry. Amazon doesn't promote me or support me either, so it's okay. It's okay. Don't love your HR practices, buckaroo. Anyway, oh my God, these opinions. Look at me. I'm so human. Oh, it just comes out. I'm so relatable, right? Okay, anyway. So she's saying there might be a piece like that, you guys, like where like there's a privatization of the space program stuff and traveling to space or whatever. It's the same kind of vibe with this. It's not even called spirituality. She says it's like an advanced mind, and the advanced mind is beyond the solid, beyond the mass. It is like a consciousness, a collective kind of consciousness, a wisdom library of consciousness that you access that has records from not just this lifetime, she says, but all the way back. And she says, that's the cool thing about, she says, that's a unique thing about doing the past life work that I did. She says, I was able to really see and understand that there's so much more than what we're trying to do here. She says that really affects us. And she says there's a lot to be said about focusing on the now, because she says this really is where you make the decisions that then create the past that you have, your track record, she says. So whether you slide around on the timelines forwards or backwards, and she says you can do both. You can do both. And when you slide forward, just know you're going up, she says. So it's not like linear. It goes like when you're sliding on the timeline and you're going backwards, you are linear, she says. You're linear. But when you're going forward, you're going up. So do you understand that, people? The timeline stuff. You go back for the past and you slide up. So this is what it's like your track record. When you refer to your track record, it's like what you've done, right? And she says, this future piece, this visioning piece is this awareness of the future as it's already been. She says there are some pre-planned out points, nodal points for you, and yet you have the choice to stop at those places or to keep going, she says. Keep going. And then she says, once you're on this track, this forward awareness of the forward track, she said, it's not just a ladder. It like moves. It almost, you guys, it looks like this DNA strand thing, kind of. It's like moving and it's going up and down and moving. And she says, it is a very safe structure to do that. She says, you can tap into that. And she says, however, it does feel like because the human body is not up to speed yet, she said, there's a piece of the mind that is, the human body is not up to speed yet to hold that light quotient to the extent that it can really be understood in the body. So this is why there's an increased noting of somatic activity within people's bodies, people having more disease and more trauma affecting the body, more the body not being able to handle anymore the capacity, because the human body is limited to the extent at which it can partner with the mind in a way that transcends that spirit into that spirit of that spirit of knowing, we'll say that spirit of knowing. And so she's showing me this like DNA strand thing with the figure eight, the infinity sign, and then but then there's like this safe kind of container, scaffolding of it that moves around. And she says, but you feel like the body actually feels like when you get into that place, it feels like you're on like a roller coaster and like a pinball machine, like you're hitting different things. And she says, so the trick is to slide, not to go direct. So if you're too specific about what you want to achieve or manifest or accomplish in your life, you will miss the most direct route to get there, and you will be bounced, she said. So this is when the ego mind, forward looking, the human eyes try to see what is available and then make decisions about what you're going to do or what you want to do based upon what's available. And she's saying it's not about that. It's really a smooth track, but you see the places where you can bounce off of and you anticipate the challenges. And she says, that's why they come, because you put them in your vision. And she says, so the fear only creates the bumpers, the challenges. And while that serves you to some degree, and there's a level of acceptance that there's a human normalcy in suffering, she says, the truth is, why so many of you want to go back to the past is because there is so much access to other lives that you've had that will bring you past those things because you've already done that. So you won't even think of needing to achieve or accomplish that. You've already been there. You've already been the president of that country, or you've already been a successful business person, or you've already been a successful recording artist or a model, or had 500 kids, when this lifetime that you haven't been able to conceive. And she says, so you go back to the past to unlock the places where you have the gap or the openings, the places where there's opening. That's a pause, she said, for healing. And when that pause of healing is what comes into and helps this energy around you move up and down through the levels of consciousness that create your future reality. Oh my God, she's freaking brilliant. Holy shit. Oh my God. Whoa. Damn. Okay, Dolores, I think we need to have like a private business session so you can help me understand some of this stuff and show me some things, because what she's really saying is we're creating our own resistance, which you and I both know psychologically. We've heard all that stuff. That's why people go to counseling and therapy and do like DBT and which is a form of counseling psychology or counseling stuff, or EDMR stuff. It's types of therapy to kind of really dig into the pain and kind of figure it out or deal with it or unlock the hidden emotions so the body doesn't hold them, because the body is what is keeping you stuck, because the body, somatics of the body, is trying to process as the mind is already advanced now. So it's kind of like you were in a hoodie and you're walking around with a hoodie on, but you can't see anything else. And if you put your hood over, it's going to limit your visibility, your ability to see that 360 or at least 180, to look forward and backwards and all that. It's going to limit that, you need to have the body full on, everything all open and flowing, and it's not. So how can we change that? You have to get more in tune with your body. She says that is going to be the key to your capacity. I knew this. I said this years ago that I needed to do that to change my light quotient, and I got really thin, and in some ways not good, because like that's a problem. You got to balance stuff too, you guys. We still have to eat appropriately for your body. However, you have to learn that formula for yourself, and you have to begin to notice and have some reciprocity with your body, she says, because it's so separate now. The bodies are so segregated, and it's a problem. She says, it's a problem. The bodies are segregated. It's a problem. It is a problem. Oh my God. It's like, oh my God. Now I see the current event. She literally shows me Tennessee. The bodies are segregated. Damn right they are. What the heck is going on? Do you see? Do you see? The bodies are a target. Your body is a target, right? How many wrinkles do you have? Hmm? How many? How's that working for you? Oh, do you have like oh, do you have an eye that's a little wandery? Do you have that? Or oh, your nails aren't pretty enough, or your fingers are too long, they're too short, you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too pale skinned, you're not tan enough. Tan is beautiful, or whatever. What the hell? Like it's all that. It's that just that it's like we have a collective dysmorphia of the energetics of the body, and the body is the next place of the power because it's what can contain and hold you as you are sliding up and down, creating and co-creating the future, and how good your vehicle is able to hold you and to have that honoring within your spirit in your heart. She says that's going to determine your success or how happy you are. You don't always have to be doing things. You can just be being things. So, wow. Okay. Ooh. Whoa. Okay. This was deep, you guys. This is deep. This is like my head is a little does anybody else feel that head stuff, the pressury head stuff? Oh, it's kind of fascinating. Wow, you are just filled with information. I want to make a comment about the way I'm sharing the information. Because of all the stuff that she's showing me, it's really exciting. The concepts and the views and the things that she's showing me gets me really excited. So my energy is like, oh my gosh, and this and that and this. And that's my energy. That's my energy and how I'm choosing to channel and receive what she's sharing because it's exciting. It's a really advanced stuff. And she says, we have access to so much. She says, so much. Mhm. We should utilize that. Use your resources, she says. She says that the problem is she says humans find it so gallant, I'm going to say noble, to do things yourself on your own. Like when you hear the toddler, all by myself. It's like ingrained in our psyche, our energy, everything is like, do it by yourself, do it by yourself, do it by yourself. And there's like this huge, like, look at me, I succeeded. Like it's like that, or just a few a group of small people, that's unusual when there's a group of people that get awards instead of just one person gets that, even though a whole host of people may have helped contribute to that Nobel Prize, to that person, supported that person, helped provide the right energy and environment for that person to flourish. Only one person gets that recognition. And it's like this whole individualism piece. And she says, you're moving away from that and really, really you have a deep, deep desire to be in communion with your soul family, which she says is incarnated for the most part. And what you are longing for is the parts of yourself to be relating back in. It's almost a bit shaman-like, I'm just gonna say. The way she does the past life stuff, it's almost shaman-like, trying to find pieces that are available and on the ready for healing, and she says, "You have to be ready at this point to receive that." It's like when you're putting something together and it has to be if it's a screw or a nail, that's a huge difference, and how long that screw is or how short it is or whatever the end piecey thing is, you know what I mean? Like, you have to use the right tool. You have to use the right type of connector, right? And she says, so you have to have that place open here in order to receive that from the past into the now. If it's going to help you, you have to be open to that receiving that particular type of that particular thing or that particular information. And if you're not, you're just not. And she says, that is not something to be ashamed of if you're not ready for that. That is not a major character flaw. She says that's not failure. It's just timing. It's just the timing. It's just the rhythm. Which circle are you standing on in here? Right? It might not be the one for that particular thing. For money to be healed or romance to be healed or your body consciousness issues, to be healed or your addictions to be healed or what have you, Ooh, you guys. Okay. Yep. I got to rock and roll. I got a group here in a little bit, but Yeah, fascinating stuff. Wow. Okay, so let me know in the chat how this feels to you. How did this feel? Thank you. We should talk a little more. She says, I already gave you a bunch of it. She said, you have a bunch of information. You have a bunch to go through. She says, and she shows me a notebook, like just a simple notebook and a pen. I'm like, okay, old school, huh, Dolores? All right. How do you guys feel about this? Master teacher to learn from. She feels like a master teacher. I would agree with that. This is fascinating. It's interesting. Yeah, I hope you watch this again. That's great. Crystal, I'm glad you were able to make the live. Much love. Thank you. Much love to you. Suzanne, I tried. I tried to join Hay House years ago. Didn't work so well at that point. All right, let's see. Need to learn more about this. Yeah, it's fascinating. So now who's going to go check out YouTube stuff about her? I bet lots of you are. Hi, Teresa. Nice to see you. You're welcome, Lisa. Thanks, Don. Yeah, lots of info. Laura, I'm glad you like her. It's all in the timing. Yes. You're welcome. Have a great evening to you all too. Heart opening and mind blowing. Oh, that's a great thing to end on. So this is Bridgette. You've been watching me channel Dolores Cannon. This was the first time I've ever talked to her. So, and yeah, it was kind of personal and kind of people-y, like I was human, just like you guys are. So I hope it's inspired your spirit. It's curious to me. Now I'm going to listen to this later tonight or tomorrow, probably when I'm walking on the treadmill. I'm going to listen to this again because this was fascinating. Thank you so much. She's like, oh, you're welcome. She said, you're welcome. And she's showing me very light blue, which is a lot of angelic energy for me, or light blue is also starseed energy. So my friends that are we're calling out the starseeds, my Arcturian friends, my Palladium friends, my Andromeda friends, my Sirius B friends, all of y'all. Sending you guys love. All right. Thanks for being here. Remember, this is your life. Take what works for you from this and apply it, and what doesn't, just leave it. You might come back to this 3 years, 5 years, 8 years from now and have a totally different take on it. It might hit you and help you. It'd be exactly what you need when you need it. If you start to listen to this video or you've made it to the end, hey, thanks for making it to the end. But if you start to listen to this and you're like, yeah, I don't need that, then move along. It's fine. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you on the live stream, on the chat. Have a great Monday, and I'll see you next week. I'm going to try to do it in the morning again. We'll see, depending on if I get any appointments or anything. We're going to try to do it in the morning. Okay. All right. So we'll see you then. I have like 2 people waiting in the wings ready to channel, and I just can't get them in yet. So we'll see. Thanks.